Hi, my name is Natalie.
And my name is Manya. Today we are on a Miskwitzki Wiskaigan, which is the Naheawan or Cree word for Edmonton. It is home to many diverse indigenous groups such as the Naheawak, Nisitapi, Métis, Nakota Sioux, Iroquois, Dene, Ojibwe, Inuit, and so many others.
Manya and I are part of a free and inclusive program called Wild Outside. And Wild Outside is a program for youth from 15 to 18 and is part of the Canadian Wildlife Federation. They're spread all over different cities in Canada.
With this organization, we hope to build connections with nature through experiences. We are thankful to be given the honor to prepare a video about public education concerning climate change.
Now to the topic of the video. What is climate change? It is defined as a change in an average condition, such as rainfall or temperature, in an area over a long period of time. But why is it concerning? Well, scientists have observed the Earth's surface has been warming substantially over the last 20 years. Climate change is rapidly altering our lives, whether it be from countless natural disasters or the ruptured ecosystems due to the habitats and food chains being modified. These changes ultimately affect our quality of living. And not only ours, but many other organisms. One of the best ways to make progress is to educate yourself and others.
Previously, we mentioned that we are part of a youth program called Wild Outside. I personally, Manya, joined the program about a year ago, and it has been an incredible adventure. Since then, I have participated in weed pulls, litter cleanups, trail maintenances, and many other amazing outdoor events. Being part of this program has taught me much more than a textbook ever will. Being outside has actually made me care about the environment, about nature, and about what happens to the forests and animals and insects and rivers. So, if you're 15 to 18 years old and currently living in Edmonton, consider joining, because we have an amazing group with the most amazing leaders. And if you're a Canadian outside of Edmonton, don't fret. Check out the Wild Outside website by the Canadian Wildlife Federation. Wild Outside might just be available in your city. Joining programs like Wild Outside are excellent and free ways of giving back while also educating yourself. You gain volunteer hours for the time you spend outside, and it's an amazing way of making connections with other people. Now, Wild Outside is happening all over Canada, but let's talk about local actions that are happening right here in Edmonton. For example, we have the Edmonton Area Land Trust. They secure and steward land in the city of Edmonton, their goal being to conserve the natural environment. Here's a fun fact. Did you know that meadows are actually really important for our environment? This is because they have a great diversity of different plants, and therefore lots of different bugs and insects hanging around as well. Unfortunately though, lots of natural meadows have been turned into farming land or just plain grass. And grass is actually a monoculture, which is why it's not good for our environment. Which is why conservation areas by the Edmonton Area Land Trust are so important. For example, the Bunchberry Meadows Conservation Area, where there's lots of natural meadows everywhere, and a great biodiversity of plants and animals. They've actually secured 14 natural areas in Edmonton, and a lot of them are available for you to visit today. And there are so many ways you can get involved with them, whether it be through volunteering, donating, or partnering alongside them.
It is important to talk about climate change and to have discussions with others so that we can spread our knowledge and gain some in return. If you're having trouble, then ask questions to initiate the conversation. Have you been affected by any of the natural disasters happening in your community? How do you feel about the environmental protests that have been happening over the last few years around the globe? And sometimes people aren't going to agree with you, so use topics to find a common ground. Maybe they care about having healthy and clean air to breathe, or maybe they care about nature and wildlife. Be sure to be open-minded and be prepared to learn new things.
Hello everyone, my name is Hannah and I am also part of Wild Outside in Edmonton. However, I am here to talk to you about social media and its impacts. Social media acts as a driver of polarization, a division into two sharply sets of opinions or beliefs. However, it can also be used as a powerful tool of change. This means that us being on social media is one way our generation can save the environment, making it one of the best ways of giving out information to the next generation about keeping the environment sustainable for years to come. Now let's talk about how we are talking to you on social media. We are friendly and also informative, and we are not forcing you to what we believe will protect the environment. We are giving you options in how one change from you can lead to a change in saving the environment. Best way to communicate on social media about climate change with others is 1. Talk about the real world, not with fake news either. Use reliable sources. Either you are reading your newspaper or watching the news on your TV. And make sure when you're finding the reliable sources, you aren't going to one site and saying that it's correct. You're going to several sites before you say that this information you provided is the right and reasonable information. 2. Connect with what matters to your audience. You're making sure you're focusing on what everyone else in the media post is talking about. 3. Talk about your adventures in the environment, how your experience was, and how you felt in the environment. Be visual, and always talk about something you are confident in. Social media can focus on content such as blogs and social news sites, which are highly susceptible to the start of false information as people's opinions are so different from one person to the next.
Now that we've given you some tools and resources, you can go out there and make a difference. You can join programs like Wild Outside or Wild Education. You can start a dinner time conversation with your family regarding greenhouse gases. Branch out. Do some research with some reliable sources. Millions of youth across the globe are trying to save our future. Together, we can do it.